right, Finance Committee meeting April 13th will come to order. First, I have a motion to approve the minutes wonderfully supplied by our colleague Peg. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 3-0. Karen, do you have anything to say besides everything else that's on the agenda?
I do.
Okay.
We just received these, the management letter and the yearly audit from Scanlon. So I have
Those
a
are
set
big.
for each one of the finance subcommittee members.
Yeah, that
So
needs to be in the minutes.
hasn't been reviewed, just received it, I seen it when you seen
Do
it.
copies of these go to the counselors, the city council?
Val said she gives us a finance subcommittee. That's where we go. So if you want copies, we'll have more made, not a problem, but Val just handed them to me. I just got back from a meeting and mine's on my desk along.
So you haven't even looked at them yet?
I have not even opened it up. Just got it, hot off the press. She just received them and she brought them into my office.
Okay,
Okay?
we'll absorb those that we received.
So whatever you need, if you need more, I'm sure we can unbind one and make copies. That's whatever you need.
I don't need them, I'm just gonna say Joe or somebody else wants them.
That's what I mean. We can do it, whatever. Just let us know.
Okay, gotta absorb them.
But that's all we have.
As I recall, we don't have any authority over it, we read it, we
Right.
may have questions.
Right.
So we'll put it on the agenda.
Right, and there's nothing, I don't think it normally goes on the agenda, but you can put it on there if you like. It, it's
Or-
like informative.
It's informative, okay,
Yeah.
good.
Or there's nothing,
There's no public here, so I'm gonna skip public speak. We are going to jump to the item B, number 2, $185,000 for the athletic field lighting. I've asked Jamie Webb and Superintendent. Can you all state your names for the record for Peg to write down who you all are? Jamie Webb is the assistant planner, you know.
I don't think we've met. Or maybe we have. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
She's in charge of CPA, keeping us in check. And just tell her who you
Sure.
are.
Tom Hogan, Hogan, East Hampton Friends of Football.
You're also involved in design, right?
Well,
Hi.
the East Hampton Friends of Football is the.
That's your title, okay. Go ahead.
Patty Dougherty, I'm the athletic director at East Hampton High School.
they're taking up yours first, Amy.
Okay.
Just tell them
I'm
who
Amy
you are.
Guyette, and I am the president of East Hampton Friends of Football.
Okay, what was your name again?
Amy Guyette, G-U-Y-E-T-T-E.
Thank you.
And,
Oh, yes, it
You know her? Okay. As I am also the chair of the CPA, which is another story, I'm going to go over this as best I can to present it to my fellow counselors, and then ask all of you to chime in and enhance what I have to say or correct what I have to say. If I say something that, it's pretty basic, if I say something incorrect, don't be afraid to interrupt me. This is a supplemental appropriation from the CPA, which was approved unanimously by the committee. That's a it was an 8-0 vote. I think one person was missing. Is that correct, Jean? Uh-huh. As you can see by the sheets you have received, it's being funded from open space and the budgeted reserve. The second page of the documents you received and show that there is a lot of money in the CPA account balances with, before this, $1,163,191.92 in the CPA. The committee, prior to my arrival and finalizing, has developed what I call what is called a project funding worksheet, which is really similar to a contract. The football group wants to enhance the football experience by having lighting and having night games. They anticipated this very nicely by when they had the field renovated, which the CPA paid for a couple of years ago. I don't know if you guys know this. They actually put some conduit in case they had to run, they hoped to put lighting in.
Okay.
A lot of the discussion centered on the use of the field by others besides football, and Patty will come up with other, but I believe soccer's a big user.
Yeah.
There's track and field, there's other users, and I'd like her to enhance on that subject when I'm done. You can see that under the conditions listed here, I'm gonna go over the important ones. These conditions allow the CPA committee, and the council for that matter, to receive regular updates on the project. There was a concern about the fact that the light poles would be installed in such a manner to accommodate future renovation of track and field, so there's enough room for 6 to 8 lane track. So they were moved back a little bit, if I'm correct on that. CPA grant will fund all the work, and it has to be done no later than October 1st. These kinds of deadlines, correct me if I'm wrong, were never in the CPA contracts before. So they have to be done by October 1st, or show good cause why they need an extension.
And why is that different than prior?
There was no, it was open-ended. The committee discussion apparently before my arrival was, we need to have control of projects, know where the money is, and will it come back to us if it's unexpended? That's the kind of thing they wanted to keep going with this, so that the CPA funds are, there's a watchdog.
Yeah, okay.
The committee wanted that. That's why there's updates. They also want a little more publicity for the fact that the CPA is funding these kinds of projects, so when people see, they got football lighting and they didn't fix my road, it says CPA, and we could explain why the CPA money is only allowed for this kind of thing.
Okay.
So there's a project sign being up, there's a permanent plaque. There can't be significant changes to this without prior approval of the committee and the city council and the mayor. So that's basically everything that's involved. There is a budget, which is the last page. The budget was carefully done, including a contingency. So the $185,000 figure that we present from the CPA, and which the council would approve, gives us a contingency slightly higher than, it's something like 12%. If you look at the line where it says 10, 15, 20%, that 182 is 10% of the budget, okay? Correct me if I'm wrong, the budget, as this is submitted, was delivered by contractors that gave you estimates, or engineers. So that this still has to go out to bid, correct?
That's right.
So this is a project that you're fairly confident will have these kind of figures when the bidding is
That's the
done?
expectation.
Okay.
But you're right. This isn't a price tag, this is an estimate.
Estimated budget. Okay. But it can't go over 185 unless you come back to us. All the bids come in and it's not enough. You have to come back. So can you enhance usage? Because I think that's important for the councilors to hear.
Sure. You know, we talked a lot about, excuse me, about, you know, what other uses the lighted field could be used for, and we wanted to, we do want to make sure that during the football season that the field is not being overused. That said, there's definitely opportunities for our high school soccer program to have a limited number of night games as well at the school. And in terms of, you know, the budgeting, those are games that we schedule a few of those a year for the kids' senior nights and things like that, where we pay Williston to use their field and their lights. So this obviously would be great for my little budget.
You don't have to pay Williston anymore, right?
Right. And I think also we just do want to touch on the fact that we expect Friday night football to bring in more, a larger gate every week than Saturday afternoon football. So
People
we're
are home
really
from work.
excited. Yeah, we're pretty excited about that. Additionally, we talked, I think looking to the springtime for even to be able to use the lighted field for more usage. We're considering starting a girls lacrosse program now, and that is a spring sport, and so a few evening games would also help very much in funding that as well. We talked I know that football is starting a flag football program, and I could foresee, having some evening programs where they're bringing in, again, as a fundraiser. We also would extend to the community that should there be a fundraiser for the community center or whoever in town, that we would want to share that space in that way. And also, I've had some conversations and have talked to Meredith Police at White Brook Middle School as well to consider how they might be able to use the field in the evening for any kind of school function or, again, for fundraising. I think that the idea that this is community space and that combined with understanding how much that Friends of Football have done for the space and working together, I think there's really countless uses for the space. And, again, we just want to recognize that in the football season, we want to make sure we're not overusing the space.
Okay.
So with these night games, and you said it would get, does the field today get the same use it would get with the lights, or you're just going to shift some of the usage to nighttime?
In terms of just football?
Do soccer games, are they played on the field today?
No, there's really no reason to
Okay.
play a soccer game on the field today.
Okay.
Because you have other
Yeah.
fields.
So you're just saying, just in the event that you wanted to have a night soccer game, you'd have it available?
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. And the same with the lacrosse. Would lacrosse use the soccer field primarily, but then night games would be in the football field?
We haven't quite identified where they're going to play yet, but there's plenty of spaces for it. It will probably be, it would not necessarily be on the football field all the time.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand the usage of the field, if it will go up, because then the grass will get,
I think the
Beat up.
usage would go up, and that's why, as the athletic director, would make sure that this was making sense. And we do, for our soccer fields, I spend a lot of time making sure we're not overusing fields, so it is something we have a lot of experience with.
do you have a budget line item for like reseeding or anything like that, if the field gets all kind of chewed up?
That's what I was going to mention. I think the Friends of Football is responsible for the maintenance on the field. Nancy, am I correct? That they're going to do the
We
maintenance.
put in 20,000 for the new field. And
So,
years.
but do you budget the maintenance of it during the year?
We
Any
do, yeah.
action like that?
Yeah, we have for
Okay.
as many years as I've been involved, which is 10, 12.
And
Okay.
that might be said for even the soccer associations. They take care of the fields, the baseball, and then so this, except for the electricity, this isn't going to tax the school department's maintenance budget.
Right.
That's important to know, because that's a big CPA question. If we're going to do things, we even had that for the boardwalk, who's going to fix it? What's the maintenance? Because that's an ongoing cost, and our budget's tight, so that's important to know. Which is why I think it's fair for the football people to feel that we have to be careful how many other although it's school department property, they're paying for the maintenance. So how many other people use it? But I think the CPA committee wanted to make sure that it was utilized a lot more than just a few games in the fall. So I think that's good. Questions, Dan?
I was just wondering about the Friends of Football contribution. It says 10,000 per year in field maintenance, and I was just wondering if that was new or that's been the average.
That's been ongoing, yeah.
And the lights will just fall into that category of field maintenance.
Yeah, as far as I know, there's not going to be much maintenance on
There's only
the
electrical
light.
costs. The utility
Right.
costs are paid for by the department.
Right.
And
we
you don't
figured that
expect
out.
them to be
It's
too
very-
high.
It's like $5 an hour.
Yeah.
Do you have to increase security? Like what, for night games, will there be?
We already have,
Police that you-
police detail and EMTs at all our football games. Depending on the game itself, say it were,
A very big rivalry.
if we knew, we might add another police detail. I think anything like that would be made up for with the gate.
Okay.
There's no fencing around the whole thing anyway. People could come through the Nantucket Park into the back if they want to. A whole nother subject.
That'll be a whole other request later.
We like to build a 15-foot-high fence with guard dogs.
I know somebody they can talk to. He's running for president currently.
Do either of you have any question on their budget? I think it's well laid out myself.
No, I had a question about the CPA, which maybe you can help.
Got it there?
You mentioned that they wanted to add in with this form,
Mhm.
more oversight. As I was just wondering, not to.
Periodic project number 3, updates the committee are required.
Yeah, so there's just one. If it's gonna be done in October and there's every 3 months, we're looking at.
Well, yeah, I think this is
I just wanna make sure.
correct me if I'm wrong, Jamie, this is like a template for our worksheet. Some projects take longer than 3 months.
Well, the completion date was October 1st, so
Yeah.
the 3 months were put in there because I think if an extension was granted, then we want
Another.
another report if the extension was.
It
for
depends,
6 or
I think 3 months was the thought that that's what every project's update, I guess.
So that was just my question, that's one's enough. Yeah.
And the committee felt that one was enough, so.
Since we never got any before, let's start with one and then.
Sounds good.
And we should have a final. I mean, if it comes around October, we should know, hey, it's done. And they need to report back to the committee that it's done.
And you have this out to bid now, or?
No, they can't until we
Okay.
we appropriate
So
the
this is
funds.
just kind of a swag budget from what you estimate
I
based on
think it's an educated
research.
estimate.
Research
Yeah.
you've done on lighting.
Even, you went to the extra step of actually talking with contractors who we believe want to bid it.
Okay. Got it.
And the manufacturer.
But no,
material.
it's not out to bid.
It
No.
can't be until we
No.
appropriate.
It's not.
No.
Exactly. It's not out to bid.
No.
Okay. I was curious on that.
I think that's important, though, that when projects come to, if we get good faith estimates that are based on, architects, our engineers, anybody that can give us an estimate.
You know, that it's hard to get the contractors to give
Commit.
you a number. You know, the engineers can give you their opinion, and we don't do this for a living, but we're close to it. But it is difficult, a lot of times, to get a contractor.
Well, I think we've all been through public bidding and we know how that's gonna work, so if this does get too high, you'll be back to us. Okay, does the committee members have any other discussion?
I think it's very exciting. Looking
Yeah.
forward to seeing it again.
Okay. Just making sure the school department manages the project. There's a project manager within the department that
Yes.
keeps an eye on it? Okay.
Our Director of Business Services.
All right, well, I'll take a motion to approve the funding.
Motion? Yeah, what he said.
Okay, there's a
Second.
motion before us to approve the supplemental appropriation of $185,000.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed 3-0. Now, I took the liberty of scheduling a public hearing for this so that you guys can get started, because I know how long this might take and you're trying to get it done for football season. So next Wednesday night, you might want to come in case the same questions come from the other 6 members of the council. Okay? 6:15 upstairs. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for coming.
Exciting.
Thank you, Jamie. Sorry to tax your time.
See if
You
we can
can't
get
come
some
next-
rock bands
you
in
can't
there.
come. I don't know if you need it. Oh, 6:15. It'll probably be 10 minutes.
So you know this,
If you have to leave.
so Nancy, you know this is scheduled for a public hearing for the city council on the 20th.
Right, I'm not going.
No, but just so you know,
Right.
that's what I wanted to make sure. I know he just said the public hearing, but that's the full council upstairs, and it'll be
Yes.
timed, they start their public hearings at 6:15.
So Patty, I think it's really important that you be there at that meeting and the friends, okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
We're
Thank
holding
you.
our meeting
Good night.
until Peg had to get something.
Okay.
So we're temporarily on hold.
We're back.
And we're back already.
I must have left it.
Okay, we'll start with $5,150 from the reserve fund from the city auditor's assistant salary. Val's letter seems to explain it. You want to go into that in detail, Karen?
Sure, I think it is very explanatory. We have an employee that has retired, and she obviously is due, by law, by the way, her accumulated vacation time. Our pay plan people do not accumulate, they accumulate sick time, but there's no payout for it. So this is her straight vacation time, plus her, longevity. And this allows us to hire a replacement, which we're going to hopefully start interviewing for in the next few weeks. And this would bring somebody in May, which is when this individual is technically off our books. She's using vacation time now, current vacation time now. Okay?
So this is efficiency of operation.
Yeah, trying to, when somebody's off the books, get some, scheduled to have somebody back in.
Okay.
Okay?
I don't have any questions. I think it's obvious.
You know, the goal is to have somebody in,
You don't have it?
early to mid-May.
You didn't print either.
I did, and I left them on the kitchen table.
Do it. I'm glad I'm not the only one that does stupid things like that. 'Cause I do that all the time, except I'm the chair of the
That's
mini,
so
so I would have been
organized.
gone home to get them.
I was so organized today. Do you have any questions?
You have your phone?
No.
You have any questions?
I do have. I don't have.
I'm just saying you might be able to call them up. and-
Yep.
There is plenty in the reserve fund, you wouldn't give it to us if it wasn't, but.
Do you want the balance? I'd be happy to give you the balance. Okay, after everything, all the things that are in front of you, and
There's a lot of
actually
them.
anything that's coming to you is already on here too.
Mhm.
That leaves us with, boy, is this tiny.
Right here.
That leaves us with 43, a little over 43 grand after.
And that's including things that I don't even have yet,
Right,
and the stuff that's here. Okay.
right, it's, everything's in there.
We're still gonna have 43K, but
Yep,
it is
after.
almost May, so that's not bad.
That's right,
Okay.
that's right. Because you know what reserve is and you can see what we've been using it for.
No, luckily we have free cash too, so that's good. Any more questions? Take a motion to approve.
Motion to approve moving money from the reserve fund to be transferred to city auditor assistant salary 5510.
Second.
Who gave you
I just found
that? They weren't on her. All in favor?
this. Best we don't ask, guy.
Oh, Peg, it's amazing. Okay. Next item is $9,500 for the fire department.
And the chief is stuck in a meeting, so he won't be here.
Sure he's not watching his daughter play softball?
Yeah. He's meeting at the softball field.
Okay.
Actually, he contacted me when I was at a meeting saying he wouldn't be here, when I was the one stuck in a meeting. And anyway, I think his memo is pretty detailed,
Mhm.
which we try to always provide. And I have asked him, you can see from the memo, originally, yes, is that, these were being estimated and, estimated repairs. So, the amounts were good, and he has been able to, get these things maintained, these items.
Sure.
We'll leave it on one. Yeah, and you know that the last one, the last part of the request, so we've got the repairs, and then you've got the ambulance billing. You know that that's usually a good thing when we come to the council for a approval of a shortage in there,
It
because
means
that-
we're getting more
yes,
money in, so
exactly.
we have to bill it.
To bill
So when-
more, we get more, so that's not normally a bad thing.
So in other words, if they're asking us for
money.
money to cover him his billing costs, it means, oh, we're billing more, so.
That's right. That's exactly right. So that's a good thing.
Another obvious one for me. Any questions, counselors?
No.
Nope.
Take a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
I,
We're an easy finance committee. 3,300 for the fire department again. This guy, I don't know about him.
This is pretty interesting. This is a little different. This is actually, you know, something that we're also happy with, something that's valued at 20 grand that we're able to scoop up for 3,300. So this just seems like a win-win for everybody. Was purchased out of the fire assistance firefighters grant, and they're not using it for the Hampshire County since back in 2008. They no longer want it. We've been housing it here. We use it, so we thought it would be extremely advantageous to pick up something worth 20 grand for 3,300.
can you, again, Mayor, explain what is this thing?
What is this thing? What they use it for, it's, what does he call it? He calls it a rehab trailer. Like at fires, it could be, you know, to say it's freezing cold and they have the trailer out there. You can have the firefighters go in there, warm up, water,
Is
all
that
things
like a
that.
Winnebago, more or less? Kind of something
It really
like that?
looks-
Is it an
looks
RV?
more
It's like an RV of
It's
it.
more, it really just really looks like a trailer.
Okay.
And you'll drive by, you can see it's usually parked out there.
And I
But
assume,
it's really like to benefit, you know, our public safety
Yep.
and things like that.
so Hampshire counties, you had this
Mhm.
parked here, but nobody's used it in the other counties, any other cities and towns?
I don't know how much use it's gotten from the other communities, but we've used it. And we
Okay.
have the opportunity to scoop it, so I think maybe.
So when we get it, that doesn't mean they can ask for it, the other cities and towns, unless we're not using it. Unless we come because we're on mutual aid.
Yeah.
If we're asked to come help fight the
Right.
fire, we might take
Right.
our.
It no
rehab
longer is universal property.
trailer. Okay, well, I mean, I
Shared.
know, shared, mutual
Mutually.
aid. If
Mutually
you're asked to
shared.
go
Mhm.
to a fire to help them,
Exactly.
you might take your trailer. Okay. That sounds like a good buy. I'm always in favor of a good buy.
Yep, I was just gonna say, this is, you know, one of these smart shopper.
It is in pretty good shape, I assume.
Yes.
It's a 2008. Is it a 2008 trailer or that we've had it since 2000?
No, it's a 2008 trailer.
Well, that's not that old. That's good. And it's not like it's driving around anywhere. It doesn't get mild.
No, it's in very good shape.
Okay, anything from the counselors?
I'll move to approve from free cash 2,300 to the fire department capital for the fire ground rehab trailer.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I jumped right over the
That's all right.
32,000. Sorry.
Okay.
This is from your department, Karen, right?
Right, so, as you can see, it's split. Some is for the energy lighting, and, you know, obviously to pay the electrical itself. And the other part is for professional services, which is supplies and repairs. So it's pretty straightforward. We have locked into a locked-in electric price for a supplier. And we have a decent price, but back before, when utility costs were not out of control, it was basically like 65 cents, 6 cents a kilowatt hour, not 65 cents, 0.065. And we were able to lock in a little over 9, which is a really good lock-in rate. So now we can plan on what our bills will be. So it's just, obviously the electric bills were a little higher. And also, we portion our solar credits through all of our different accounts in the city, all of our different Eversource accounts. And this one has a very small percentage. So this one does, we don't use a lot toward this one. So it's a little, it comes a little bit more budgetary out of us. And as far as repairing, if you look in the developments, such as mine, a lot of the poles are old, and it happens during the winter, it happens during a windstorm. We just had one, they just break, fall over, you know, they just rot and break and they fall.
These are poles holding just the lighting.
Exactly,
Because
holding the
it's-
streetlights, these are just for streetlights.
Streetlights,
I'm just
because
talking about streetlights.
if it was an electrical
Yeah, no,
utility
no, no.
pole, they have to fix it.
Yeah, I'm not talking
And
about
we still have
those.
to fix the streetlight though.
This is strictly streetlights. So when these poles, you know, hit the dust, it's a little expensive to replace them and obviously hook them back up, unhook them, hook them back up, so that's where the technical costs are a little higher. And, you know, we have, actually, we just had one, believe it or not, one was the wind, but mostly it's snow, and they're really just, it's just old. Or what happens too is because the ones in the development are the underground wiring, so sometimes we're ready to, the light's out, it's not the light at all, it's the wiring underground is broken, so that's a little more expensive to repair than just putting in a new sensor
Mhm.
or, you know, new ballast. So that's what these two costs are.
And
Just-
and you
just
may have said
budgetary.
it, I apologize. So the first part, the 20 grand, is the actual
Yeah.
electricity?
The electric bill itself, yes, from
Okay.
Eversource.
And then
It's
the
billing from
second part
Eversource.
is to have a technician come out if we have a pole
That's
that goes
right.
down to fix things.
Right, as you know.
Disconnect and reconnect.
Exactly, as you know, we own the streetlights, but we also maintain them. And we do not have the capability here to maintain them. As a matter of fact, you'd have to have regulated utility trucks. Like even though electricians, they can't do all of them, they have to have like I call them the bucket,
Yeah.
yeah, they have to be, you know, regulated for that. So we hire out we outside contract for that.
So this is really for Eversource, this is nothing to do with the actual pole itself, that's a separate line item?
The top part, the 5211 for energy, light and heat, the 20,000.
Yeah.
That's the bill itself, that's Eversource's charge.
That's a kilowatt hour.
But
That's
that's
our.
the kilowatt, but it's not the pole.
Nope.
So if the pole
The-
broke,
The bottom
that's a
part is,
separate-
see the 5319?
But the physical pole?
Yes.
Oh, so they would
Because
replace
some of the lights
whole-
are-
We have to buy them and replace, yes.
But that's not the pole that holds electrical lines, it's just the pole that holds a street light.
That's right.
There's
Got it.
nothing else
Yep.
on it.
Yep, exactly.
I think that might
Simply
be your
streetlights.
confusion. Right.
Yes,
We have some like that, where they're just the lighting and
in all the developments.
yep, there's one near my daughter's house.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, all of your housing
I'm
developments
just curious,
have those.
'cause you
They call
said-
them decorative,
We
but
have-
they're underground lighting. That's the difference.
Contracted utility cost, like you've contracted for kilowatt hour price?
Yes.
So
We do
I'm-
it for gas also.
I'm curious, we have to pay, this is out of reserve fund, so you didn't budget for what you thought it would be in the sense that,
Because the-
because the streetlights are on from morning till dusk, you're not positive how long they're on or.
It's not that, it's the difference in the rates. When the rates, you know, were so low, we were basing it on what we used to pay.
Oh, what you
And-
used to pay,
yes.
that's all you have to say,
Utility rate,
understand.
Yep, you got it.
Utility increase.
Yep, exactly.
Good. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
we all get that part.
Any questions? Okay, another motion?
Motion to move funds from the reserve fund to streetlights, energy and lighting, and streetlights professional and technical services for the increase in cost of electricity and repairs to streetlights.
And again, that's already been
Second.
taken out of the balance you asked for.
Second?
Yep.
All in favor?
I,
So when you state a motion like that, it may have to be in the minutes.
that's all right, I read right from here, so I can do that, if you want me to.
Well, the only thing I need in the minutes is that we approved it and who made the motion, who seconded it. That's all. So I seconded that one. Passed 3-0. So we did the 300, we did everything? We did everything.
We didn't do the stipends. Do we need to do the stipends?
We haven't gotten more information on those.
Okay. How much more information are we waiting for?
She said she was gonna give me more, and I have to apologize as chair, I did not follow up on that.
Because we have,
Do you have,
we have the,
we have some here, yes.
12 other, what is the population? of
What
this?
I had wanted,
16,000.
what I had wanted, and I don't know,
16,009,
I
I think.
think she gave to me.
Right.
Did she give us what we are currently paying as stipends for everybody?
She didn't, I mean, I took it from the budget for the mayor and city council, but
But I'm looking at, like, we pay, like, the assessors a little bit, we pay,
yeah, not everybody does that, but I have my spreadsheet goes out farther to all of the line items. I just printed these first ones. But
and
yes,
that's just,
I'm keeping a spreadsheet of it.
oh, what other people pay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And then
great.
this is us, I put us in the last row, and then this right here is an average.
All right, that's just a council and the mayor and the school committee?
This particular printout,
Right.
but my spreadsheet goes all the way for what everybody responded to, and we just don't have all the East Hampton.
Do you want information on what we pay in the minor amount to stipends to other
Anything that is
boards?
considered a stipend, I think.
Well, we
have
pay
it
it.
on the list.
You don't have that. Is that readily available in your office, Melissa? If it's not, if you have to just work at it, I think Barbara might have that.
The
The little fees we
stipends?
give everybody.
Barbara has them all. Yep. We
Alright.
know most of them,
I mean, I
but
can-
why do them off your head? You're better off with a list.
No, I want something in writing. for
Right,
the
you're better off with a
committee.
list than she does.
That way you know that we pay so many, we pay little amounts to certain groups. So I'm gonna get that. Do you mind giving that spreadsheet you did have?
I can make copies of it.
That would be great for next meeting. Do we have a lot coming our way at
I-
the next council meeting?
Oh, thank you for asking. I do have, I was gonna ask you if I could bring that up at the end. I have one more that I know of that I'm gonna put on the agenda for, well, I'll give it to Barbara for the agenda tomorrow. And that I am going to ask if you would please schedule that for a public hearing at the full council meeting, so that, we can, they came in, the request came in after the agenda, and I didn't want to amend the agenda, I prefer.
Well, we're
to
gonna
have
put it on the next agenda.
It's gonna be on your agenda, because
For
I have
this
plenty of time,
coming week?
yes. Yeah, the deadline for me to get anything on the agenda is tomorrow by
Right.
noon. So this request came to me instead of Thursday by noon. I didn't get it till the following Monday, and I
For
did not
this
want to, yeah, and I did not want to amend the council agenda for that.
So let me bring
So
up
next.
a subject.
Mhm.
That'll probably be the only thing on the agenda then, because we don't, do you have anything else coming through besides that one?
I think, that's the only
I'm
thing
only
that I can
bringing this
think
up
of.
for topics of discussion. We could do
Right.
the stipends next meeting. However,
Mhm.
I need to schedule the next meeting for Thursday, the 28th, because I am having my foot surgery on the 22nd,
Are you
and I
gonna be
will
okay?
not be in the kind of cast that the doctor wants me to get away. He's putting me in a splint, and he doesn't want me going anywhere. I'm getting my full cast on the 28th, in which case I
Do you want
can
to meet that day?
feel free on the 28th to be here. The point is I'm fine, I'm on crutches, that's not a big deal. Except when I'm not in the full, no, my wife will drive me here.
I'm just.
Don't
I'm
worry.
being
I'll
mother-
call you and get
mother-
you to pick me
Well, there
up.
you go.
Anyway, the reason is the splint type of cast is too dangerous, I can't.
Yeah, in case you bump yourself.
Right.
Bumped
Yeah,
it
so
up.
I'd rather be in the full cast, which is the 28th. Now, is that possible for you guys to
Well,
be here?
The only thing you'll
I'm
have
asking my
on
council
it-
meeting members first,
But the only thing you'll have on it will be the new request, correct?
and the
Because-
stipends.
Right.
Because after that, we gotta do the budget, and I wanna not have to deal with stipends, and I wanna talk about those dates too. But how do you guys feel
5
about?
o'clock still?
I don't know what Barbara has available. We could be 5 o'clock, but
Want me
it
to go
may
check?
not be in this.
Want me to check
Is she
this?
still here?
No, I'll check on my own calendar, I have it. It's just our Google Calendar, it tells you what, that's how we book our rooms.
Really?
Yes.
I could go on.
Why, that would be great if that was available to us
It
councilors.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
It is available to
Yep,
us?
if you go to departments.
Oh, you mean it's on the website?
Well, it's not, you
It's-
won't get everybody's personal calendar, but you get all the conference rooms.
But you know when if there's a meeting
Uh-huh.
scheduled for next week in this, oh, yes, there is.
Yes.
It's called the CPA, and I'm the chair of that meeting.
So you'll be here
But it's,
anyway.
no, but that's at 6:30.
So you want to do it at 5?
Hold on, no, that's next week, that's not the 28th, that's the 21st.
And let me just go
28th.
take a quick look while
I
you,
could do 5 o'clock on the 28th.
you want me to take a quick look, make sure it's available?
Yes, please.
28th, 6 o'clock,
5 o'clock is what
I know, but 6 o'clock meeting, is this conference room 1?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Veterans Council meets on the 28th, 6 o'clock right here.
right. Well, you only have one, oh, you have your stipends.
So if we have 5 o'clock.
Well, we don't
Do you
have
want
to
me to
finish
check?
the stipend.
No, I think we're good.
I mean, to see if 5 o'clock's available, I'm sure it is, but We don't wanna schedule it.
Can you, Dan, is that tough for you to get here?
28's fine.
5 PM?
Yep.
28th?
I won't be here, but, well, 5 o'clock I would be. 6 o'clock is Teachers Excellence Awards. So, but 5 o'clock.
Now, if we only have that agenda item, then an hour should be enough. If we don't finish, when the veterans come, we'll just leave, okay? I'm gonna get a lot of flack from my wife, but I don't care. I'm gonna be here.
Okay, so you're changing the 27th to the 28th.
This is primarily for me, yes.
Okay, perfect.
Should I put that in minutes? Primarily for Dan.
He promises to pass out, he pass out his painkillers to everyone who needs one. That's on the record, I should shut up.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So now, the
Did you-
budget.
Right, did you want to try to do that too while we're here?
I'll be in a cast, but I can do almost anything in May. I have no other commitments other than council stuff. So I leave it to you guys. We usually do 3 meetings. In addition, we can do a regular finance meeting on the 11th. We can do the 11th. What I really want to find out from you, Karen, is when department heads are available.
Okay.
I don't care which sections we do.
Yep.
The big ones, you know, we should make
Right.
them limited to 1 day.
Right.
How about if I let you tell us
Okay.
on the 27th what days are good after you talk to your department heads?
Okay, on the 20, because we're going to be on the 28th.
28th,
Right,
sorry.
right, okay, and just, that's great, but as long as it's the
Yeah, you're
week
the-
after, I'm out of town the 8th to the 14th. So as long as it's the week of the 15th, week of the 22nd.
Why don't we do the week of the 15th and the 23rd?
That sounds perfect to me.
We can do,
I'll put the-
we
and I'll
can,
double check
we can do
everybody's
one on the
schedule.
19th. No, I can't, CPA. We can do one on the 17th, and we can do 2 on the 24th and 25th, for instance. Put those in
Okay.
as
Those sound
possibilities.
good.
All right, you guys, those are budget meetings.
So
17,
Tuesday, May 17th?
And because we already have council on the 18th.
And the
and I have-
19th, so you go.
19th, you have CPA. 24 and 25. 25 is a regular finance meeting. So 17, 24, and 25 are budget meetings. And what I'll do is let you divide up.
Those for you, Mel.
Those are usually pretty long. When do we get the budget? The first meeting in May?
Yes,
Okay. So those meetings, we go line by line through the budget and we talk to the department heads.
so those nights work great for me.
They work
And-
okay for you guys?
Yeah, well, you know what, we'll do it, those are.
I don't mind doing 5 o'clock, but I leave it up to my fellow counselors to tell me. I'm out of work. I don't care.
And 5 is golden for all of us in the departments too. But I'll.
Can you make 5, Dan?
we'll do something.
Some days you have trouble, it's okay, you sure? He is just a
He's a
trooper.
rock star.
Oh, so that we get John here, we only get people here once, Joe and John.
Those
Okay.
meetings could be an hour and a half or
Together,
longer,
we'll
guys,
do
depending.
Yeah,
Karen,
And
could
the-
you
and-
be kind enough to make the school department
absolutely.
with some other simple
Mhm.
budget line,
Yes, the
budget
big ones
department?
with the smaller
Because
ones.
school department takes a while, et cetera.
Yep.
But I'll let you decide what department heads are available.
Great,
I mean, we have to make sure Nancy's available that night, and her business manager, that's very important.
right.
Do we know, I was looking at what Val had sent in the last few weeks with the actuals. Does the budget come, so there's a line item that says, I don't know, let's just call it city councilor salary, $27,000. Is there a view of the budget that says how many people
How
that
many
salary is
counselors?
for? Or just anything that says salary? Salary seems to
We
be all
usually
rolled
ask
up.
that at the time.
Yeah, so like you'll go, like, we'll just do like DPW,
Right.
there'll be like a whole bunch of people in
Right.
the salary line, they'll be like, how many people is? Oh, well, there's 5 guys in that department.
Right, but it doesn't.
And they're all together.
But you don't have a view
No.
of it in the budget?
No.
No,
You don't
you'll
know
have a
how many
view of
people
how
that
those-
salary line pays
Right.
for is what you're asking.
Right, that's what you're asking,
You're
and the
gonna-
answer
We
is,
always ask that
it's
at the
not-
night of the meeting.
Yeah, it's not broken down like that, no. And some of the departments you'll notice are very simple, like my department is very simple, because you'll see my line and then my assistant's line. Obviously,
One and
it's
one.
too, right.
Right.
A lot of the offices, are like that
Mhm.
because we're small, but like when you get to the larger ones, like, the police department, no. And you usually ask how many officers, 22,
And how many positions
firefighters.
have not been filled is asked a lot
Right,
of all the
right, that all
departments.
comes up, but no, it does not say 22 officers at so much, no. And they don't all make the same rate of pay anyway, but it's one line of the salaries, and it's broken down, incentives and overtime and all of that. Like, those are all different lines. And, just looking at our existing budget, we'll show you, it'll give you a good idea.
Because the reason I'm asking is because, if you're a nerd like I am, I am likely to look at past budgets,
Mhm.
and if the salary goes up,
Mhm.
I'm gonna assume it's because we have more people?
Nope, you're
No,
gonna assume they got
it's
a raise.
not, it's not.
Exactly.
And that's what, those are all.
That's what I would have assumed, that we added a person.
Yeah, no,
No.
first of all, you would know we didn't add a person by looking at these, and secondly, those are all questions that come up, as you're going through it, those are questions that are either brought up or you ask, and those are, the increases are contractual, if there's a 1.5%.
Especially if it's in
yeah,
a union
Yeah.
collective bargaining
Right.
agreement,
There's, all the rest of there's one pay plan group, the rest are unionized, so school has 4 unions, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So we have a total of 9 pay groups, 8 of which are union, 1 of which is not. The 1 of which is not is the pay plan people, Melissa and our staff here.
And this-
And it would be obvious if anybody was added, but it would also be brought up.
Mhm.
What those changes are, and that's what you do compare, and that's what you do look at, and those are exactly the questions you would
There's
ask.
step increases for PayPal employees, there's minor salary increases. Sometimes there's a salary adjustment because we have a new person coming in and they didn't get quite as
Oh,
much
yeah,
as a
no,
normal.
I get
Step
that.
increases for unions also.
I'm just trying to figure out the best way to view
Analyze
it, yeah.
The other thing is, the school department's budget, we got that.
Yeah.
You got it, right? That's a breakdown, but we don't have control line by line.
No.
Right,
School
I know,
department
yeah.
that you know
Right.
this.
Right.
But we have.
It is what it is.
We have the total appropriation control,
Right.
so.
So if we, as an example, if they had $100 and we said, no, you're only gonna get 90 this year, they'd have to
Right.
take that budget, go back and figure out where they're gonna save the $10.
Well, it's exactly
But
what
we
they did
don't
with the
just-
mayor. I mean, they might do that.
Yeah, well, right, but, you can decrease. That is your
Right.
option. You can say yes, or you can decrease.
Right.
Well, they asked you,
Mhm.
can we have this much money? And you
Mhm.
said, well, this is all I can give you, so the school board has to go back and decide
Right.
what they're gonna do with it. And then we could say, we don't really appreciate that you're spending all this money on a trip to Tahiti, and we're gonna have to cut that out of the line, and, because we can cut a budget.
And-
Happened only once in my 21 years.
And just to let you know,
Oh, and
it's-
Melissa asked us to do it once.
It's sad because we are at the stages where, when we go through it, I'm cutting the cuts. It's pathetic.
Yeah.
And like last year, there were 5 positions just here. I mean, it's pathetic. So, but we do the best we can, and, the requests are the requests. Do they need it? Yes. Do they deserve it? Yes. Do we have the money to fund it? No.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
they're, cutting something, it's great to look at everything, but to cut it, that is the hardest thing to do. It'd be great. This would be the greatest job in the world if there was money.
Right.
The greatest job in the world.
Easy, yeah.
But it's
Well,
You'd have a lot more
it's a-
friends than enemies.
Part of it, and part of it too is,
because we see the need,
Yeah.
and we know what we
Oh, yeah.
haven't put back, we know the eliminations, and we know the cuts.
It's hard
and we-
decisions.
And none of them have been put back, and we know it.
Yeah.
We know they should be, but it can't happen. I mean, we have, we don't get to go into a $1 trillion deficit. It
Right,
has to be
right.
balanced, and that's the way it is.
yeah.
So, it's not something that makes everybody happy for sure.
Mhm.
So, anything else? So, just to review, we're meeting on the 28th for the regular finance committee meeting. Thank you, members, for doing that. We're meeting on the 17th, the 24th, and 25th for the budget, and you're gonna request what nights are best, what
Right.
departments we're gonna talk about on anything.
Right, and what we're also gonna do too is we're gonna make sure, like, if one of the department heads might have, a couple of different sections of the budget, so we're gonna get them here for just the one
But
night.
try to be, yes.
You know what I mean?
So it'd be
Yeah.
great if you handed me that, so I can give it to Barbara
Yep.
for those nights, and we can all review it on the 28th.
Right, we'll get cracking. But those dates are good, thank you very
When do you
much
live,
for
Vic?
setting them this far ahead, it's extremely helpful.
I know.
Over by,
Oh, no, you're on the other side. Now, where do you live, Dan?
Middle Street?
Yeah, but you come from work every time.
I think I'm getting it.
Now, my son can give me a ride if he's home.
I'm just saying.
I'll be here in my rolly cart.
We'll get you.
Did you see me in that? Did you ever see me in that?
With
It's a-
the knee, where you bend your knee.
It's
and-
called a no hands-free crutch. It's a wheeled cart that you put your kneel
Oh, you
on.
kneel on.
And you do this with it, and you have hands-free.
Nice.
It's fantastic.
We need to
It's
get some of those
absolutely
here.
fantastic. Has a little,
Sounds awesome.
it has a little bike brake, just in case you're going downhill. Move we adjourn?
Second?
Okay, all in favor? Aye, aye, aye.
Aye.
So stipends and one item on the 28th.
oh, I should look at Medicare distribution.
And we have
I
those.
think it's fine.
I will set a, Karen, I'll set a public hearing for everything we did tonight. We have the 183 and the 185 at the next meeting.
Right,
And then everything
That's for the
else I'll
20th.
set for the first meeting in May.
perfect,
Okay.
perfect, thank you very much.
Okay, the meeting's adjourned.
See you in the morning, Karen.
Oh.